Good day, everybody. This is another edition of Study Anatomy. Study Anatomy is a series that will be coming your way every week for now. And we'll be bringing you new videos, bringing you new ways of studying anatomy and physiology. And these ways in which we have designed to study anatomy and physiology, there are ways that will help you in remembering those things you've studied in anatomy and physiology, because most people think it's difficult to really study anatomy and physiology. Now, with a smile on my face, I welcome you to another edition of Study Anatomy. It's a series that will take you all through studying anatomy and will give you the very best. So, we've looked at the skeletal system. We've already seen the two major parts of the skeleton. We've seen the two major parts of the skeleton, and today look into the very first part of the skeletal skeleton, because I told us that the skeleton is divided into two major parts, which is the axial skeleton and the appendicular skeleton. Now, the axial skeleton comprises of the skull, the hyoid bone, the vertebral column, and the thoracic cavity. We've already seen those things in the past. So today we are going to look into the skull proper. Let's look at the skull. The skull is divided into two major parts. The two major parts of the skull, they are comprised of the cranium, the bones. The cranium is also described as the brain box. It's also, so we've seen the cranium and the facial skeleton. The cranium and the facial skeleton. Now, these bones, these very parts of the skull, we will go into studying them one by one, bit by bit. So first of all, let's begin with the cranium. But before we go on, please, I would like you to share this video, to subscribe to this very YouTube channel, Study Anatomy YouTube channel, because it's going to be very, very, very useful to you. Let's look at the skull now. So the mandible is the only movable bone that we have in the skull, which is this. Now, let's take away the mandible first. Let's look at the cranium. The cranium, this is the cranium. The cranium is also described, as I said before, as the brain box. Now, the skull totally has 22 bones. 22 bones. But some authorities are actually, they do add the ossicles along with it, which the ossicles are the smallest bones in the human body. So the cranium, it comprises of 8 bones, and these 8 bones, the frontal bone, let's see, it's the frontal bone. This is the frontal bone. Don't forget, I told us that it has sutural lines that separate them. There's a frontal bone. It's the frontal bone. The frontal bone is at the front. Look at it from the name. The frontal bone is at the front. Then we have 2 parietal bones. These parietal bones, they are at the very superior part of the cranium, and they are these bones that we have here, the parietal bones. These are the bones we have here. This and this. So they are separated by a suture. We'll come to these sutures later on. So there are these 2 bones at the side of the skull. Then come to look at the occipital bone. The occipital bone is this one here. This very bone at the back is the occipital bone. The one at the back there is the occipital bone. The occipital bone is also described as the occiput. This very region is described as the occiput, and this is the occipital bone. Then we now have another bone too at the side, the temple of the head. The temple of the head. So these are the temporal bones. They are the side like this and this. Don't forget that the parietal bone is 2, the occipital bone is 1, then the temporal bones, there are two temporal bones that we are having here. Then the 7th bone here is the ethmoid. The ethmoid bone is at this region. It's very deep into the facial bone, but you see a portion of it here like this, properly seen here. A portion of it properly seen here. You see it here, probably you see it here clearly. So a portion of it is around here. It's around this very bone, and this very bone here is along with it. This one is called the crystal galley. The crystal galley is a very important bone also, and we'll see their functions later on as we study on. Then the last bone, which is the 8th bone, is the sphenoid. Sphenoid, the sphenoid. The sphenoid bone. The sphenoid bone is like a butterfly. If you look at this very portion here, it's like a butterfly. Look at it. Butterfly-shaped bone here. These are the bones that make up the cranium. They are very important. The bones that make up the cranium, which is also described as the brain box. So also, we'll go into the facial bones very soon. So let's see how this goes. So before I let you go, please subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to this channel. You study anatomy. It's on YouTube. It's very important, and it's going to help you. Share. You can comment. You can comment. You can comment on it. Just comment on it. You can just give us the list of the cranial bones which I've just discussed. Now let's see how it goes. Thank you. Thank you.